Dear students, welcome to the science class of 7th standard. In the previous classes, we have discussed about the chapter heat. We started with the heat chapter, what is coldness and what is hotness. We have discussed in the previous classes. And we started with the measurement of the temperature, that is nothing but the measurement of the hotness and coldness by using different types of thermometers. Thermometer is nothing but the measuring device of the temperature. We discussed about the clinical thermometers. We discussed about the laboratory thermometers in the last previous class. When they are going to use, what precaution we should take, how we are going to use those things, how we are going to read those. How we are going to read the observations or the scale which is present in those thermometers. In the previous class, we discussed all those things. But one thing there comes is the common, right? One thing there comes is the common. Which thing it is? The thing is nothing but the mercury, right? Mercury is the only one thing which used commonly in the laboratory thermometer as well as in the clinical thermometer, right? Why we are going to use the mercury? Because mercury is silver in color. Mercury is in silver in color, and it is easily visible. Second case, why we are going to use the mercury? Is it possible to use the water instead of mercury? No. Why? Mercury can be visible, but water cannot be visible. But we can take any other metal or element, but it is not possible to replace mercury with any other element. Now, why we are going to use the mercury? I am going to discuss about this after discussing digital thermometer. Now, before that, we discussed about the mercury. Mercury is nothing but it is a harmful substance. We know that it is a toxic substance, right? It is a toxic substance and it is poisonous, right? If it comes in the contact, if it goes in our mouth, it will be poisonous. It is going to harm our health. Now, for that reason, there is a problem by using the mercury in clinical thermometer as well as in the laboratory thermometers. When you use the mercury, if it is breakdown, if the clinical thermometer or laboratory thermometer it breaks, then mercury is going to dispose on the ground. It may be dispose on our shirts or it is going to dispose on our skin. That means it is directly coming in the contact with us. If it is coming directly in contact with us, that means it is going to harm because it is a poisonous. Now get rid of those mercuries. Now mercury is harmful, we know that. Now if there is a problem of disposal of that mercury, it is not possible to dispose mercury easily. In the same manner, it is not possible to dispose directly the damaged clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. There is a problem because it contains mercury. Now, how can we get rid of the mercury? For that reason, nowadays we are using the digital thermometers. Digital thermometers. We know that Digital India, right, by the Narendra Modi, there is a scheme is going on, that is nothing but the digital phenomena or digital India. In that digital India, we are going to use the digital thermometer. Now, before that, we are using the digital thermometer, but for understanding purpose, I am saying that digital thermometer is nothing but it does not contain any mercury. Right? It is directly going to show the temperature reading using the scale. It is not going to have the scale, but it is directly going to show the exact temperature which is present or which is there inside any equipment or any human body in our human body. Right, exactly same as the digital wave machines. We have now digital wave machines. Before that, we have the Takadis to wave all the elements or all the objects or all the materials. But nowadays, there is a waving machine which is digital. When we stand on that digital waving machine, directly it is going to show our weight. For example, 65 kgs, 67 kgs, 70 kgs. In the same manner, there is a digital thermometer. When we put inside any body, it is directly going to show the temperature of that body or human being or an object or a liquid to get rid of the mercury. To get rid of the poisonous substance, we get taken the digital thermometer. Nowadays, we are going to use the digital thermometer only. Now, after that, first of all, in the olden days, why we are using the mercury only? What is the main reason to use the mercury? So that in the laboratory thermometer as well as in the clinical thermometers, why we are using the mercury only? Why is the purpose of using mercury? When question arises, why mercury? Why mercury in thermometer? Why mercury in thermometers? That is nothing but why we are using the mercury in thermometer. Why only mercury? Why not other chemicals? Now first, mercury is opaque. We can say that first answer will be mercury is opaque. Mercury is opaque. Right. Why we are using the mercury? Because it is opaque. It can be visible by the outside. Because it is silvered in color, we can correctly see the readings, the mercury level in our thermometers. If you take any element, it is not possible to show those things. For example, liquid elements will be water, it will be bromine. Right? Is it possible to take the example of metal like iron or aluminum to put in the bulb of thermometer so that we can see the readings? It is not possible. Why? It is not going to rise. It is not going to rise. It is not going to expand and it is not clearly visible. First of all, it is not in the liquid form. Now, second, we can say that it is in liquid form. Second is that it is in liquid form. The only method which is liquid form is mercury. Second reason to use the mercury in the thermometer is it is in liquid form. Now, what will be the third? Now, take example of the water. Now, water at 0 degree Celsius, it will be what? It will be ice. That means it is in solid state. After that 0 degree Celsius, it will become liquid state. After 100 degree Celsius, it will be in liquid state. After 100 degree Celsius, it is going to become what? It is going to become gaseous state. It is going on changing its state. It is going on changing its state. In the same manner, if you take any metals, it is not going to change its solid state up to very high temperature. Up to very high temperature. Now, for example, like metal, like we know that iron. When we give a lot of heat, then only iron is going to what? It is going to melt. Then only if it melts, it becomes in the liquid form, and after the again temperature, we give the temperature, it is going to expand. Then only it is going to become gaseous form. Right? But in case of thermometer, is it possible to use those things which have the high melting point as well as high boiling point? Which have high melting point and high boiling point? Is it possible? Or high freezing point and high boiling point? No, it is possible. It should have the high boiling point. It is necessary. But if you have the high melting point or high freezing point, it will be problematic. Why? In the thermometer, we have to measure low temperatures as well as we have to measure high temperatures. We will take the example of laboratory thermometer. It ranges from -10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. That means we have to measure lowest temperature also. That means in this case, mercury has the low freezing point. It has low freezing point. It has low freezing point and high. It has low freezing point and high boiling point. Low freezing point and high boiling point. Freeze means when you keep the water inside freeze, it is going to become ice. That is nothing but the freeze. That means there is a low temperature. That temperature is nothing but 0 degree Celsius. If you keep the mercury inside that freeze, it is not going to freeze. It is not going to become solid because its freezing point is very, very low. For that reason, we can use mercury in the what? Thermometers. Why? Its freezing point is very, very low. It may be beyond minus. For that reason, to check the temperatures. We have to calculate or measure the minute temperatures or minimum temperature. It should be minus. For that, if it has the low freezing point, when we goes on checking the low temperature, it is not going to freeze. It is going to show accurate readings. Right? In the same manner, it has the high boiling point. It has high boiling point. That means it is not going to boil if you when you go on checking the temperature. Now, for example, you have to check the 110 degrees Celsius. At 100 degrees Celsius, water is going to boil and it becomes vapor, gaseous form. It is going to evaporate. Water is going to evaporate. Now, when we take the mercury, if I put the mercury, if it is there, temperature will be 100 degrees Celsius. That means it is not going to evaporate. It is not going to, first of all, it is not going to convert it into gaseous form. It is not going to evaporate. That means it has the high boiling point. At some high temperature it is going to boil. That means we can check the high temperature using the mercury. Yes, it is going to be useful because it has the high low freezing point and a high boiling point. Now fourth condition will be. Take the example of tube. We have to walk some distance, right, with a normal speed. Now for example, take the example of our heart. It is going to beat 72 times in 1 minute. 72 times in 1 minute. Again another 1 minute it is going to beat how many times? 72. In another 1 minute is going to beat how many times? 72. There is information. There is uniform beating of that heart. It is continuously going to beat for 72 times in 1 minute. Again in 1 minute it is going to beat 72 times. Again 1 minute it is going to beat 72 times. It is the average one. Now if it is beating more than 72 times, that means there is a rush. We have the fear, we have the anger, then only it is going to beat fast. If for every 1 minute it is going to beat 72 times, after 10 minutes it is going to beat 720 times. We can calculate directly that if the heart beats 720 times, that means there is a time taken for 10 minutes. That is informative. Right? It is beating 72 times for every 1 minute. In the same manner, mercury is not going to beat. It is not going to beat. It is going to expand. When you take the plastics, when you heat it, it is going to become melted and it is going to be expanded. Right? Take the rubber. It is like the structure. When we pull it aside, what will happen? The rubber is going to expand. In the same manner, the liquid state, the liquid which we are using in the thermometers are nothing but mercury. Now when we take the mercury, which is present at the bulb of the thermometers, it is going to expand uniformly. It is going to expand uniformly. That means for 1 degree Celsius it is going to cover 1 centimeter. For 2 degrees Celsius it is going to 1 centimeter. For 3 degrees Celsius it is going to 1 degree Celsius. That means it has the uniform expansion rate. It has the uniform expansion rate. It has uniform expansion rate. Uniform expansion rate. That is nothing but specific heat. We can call it as specific heat. Now, if the temperature is 10 degrees Celsius, if it is covered 10 centimeter, again we have to check for the temperature for 20 degrees Celsius. The mercury level is going to rise again 10 centimeters. Just an example, we are not going to take that much reading. If it is 1 centimeter equal to 10 degrees Celsius, then 1 degree Celsius equal to 10 centimeter. 10 degrees Celsius equal to 1 centimeter. We have to measure 20 degrees Celsius. Now the mercury level we have 2 centimeters. In 10 degrees Celsius, specific heat is expanded how many centimeters? 1 centimeter. When the temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, it is going to expand for 3 centimeters. That may be the difference may be between these two will be 1 centimeter. That means it is expanding uniformly. For all these reasons, we are using the mercury in the thermometers. Now nowadays, why not we are using the mercury in the thermometer? Because it is a poisonous one. That why we are using the digital thermometer. I hope this is clear why we are going to use the mercury in the clinical thermometer as well as the laboratory thermometers. Next, we are going to discuss about the transfer of heat. Up to that point, what is it? How we are going to measure the hotness or coldness using thermometers? Why should we use mercury? Discuss all those things. Now next, we are going to see how the transfer of heat occurs. Now first of all, what will be the transfer of heat? When you take the example of a frying fan is kept on a stove. When we go and touch that frying fan, what will happen? It will become hot, heated. That means it become heated. For that reason, for studying the transfer of heat, we are going to do an activity. That activity is nothing but I am going to use an iron. or aluminum plate. Iron plate or aluminum plate, or you can take the table, or you can take the solids or iron fillings which are present outside in our houses or in our school. Now I am going to hold this iron fillings or hold this aluminum plate with a stand. Let this be the stand. Clear? Now I am going to use flame here by using stove, or I am going by using a what candle. Now what will happen here? Here I am going to heat. Here I am going to give the heat energy to this aluminum plate. This is aluminum plate. This is aluminum plate. If I am supplying the heat energy of this end, what will happen to this end? When you touch this end after some points, some minutes, some hours, we are actually applying the heat energy here. When you touch here, that means here we are going to feel the hotness. Right? This thing is going to be hot. But actually, where we are producing the heat energy, where we are going to give heat energy? Here. From here, the heat energy is coming here. From here to here. It is traveling from here to this point to this point. Now what will be this point? This will be hot. This will be cold. That means heat is coming from the hot part to the cold part in an object. That means movement of the heat is nothing but what? It is the transfer of heat. The movement of the heat from one point to the another point is nothing but the transfer of heat. We can say that the heat which we are given at this point, let it be A point, and the B is coming at this point, this extreme B point. When we touch it, we observe heat, hotness. That means heat has moved from A point to the B point. The movement of this heat from this point to this point is nothing but the transfer of heat. Transfer of heat is nothing but generally we can say that the movement of the heat from one point to the another point. Movement of the heat from the one point to the another point is nothing but what? Is nothing but transfer of heat. Nothing but transfer of heat. I hope this is clear. The movement of heat from this point to this point is going to cover this much point. Is nothing but the transfer of heat. Now this mode of conduction, this mode of transfer of heat is known as conduction. Right? This mode of transfer of heat is known as conduction. And conduction especially happens only in solids. It is going to happen only in solids. Now we are going to write the definition of conduction. Conduction is nothing but the conduction. We will take this example. Conduction is nothing but the conduction is mode of heat transfer. Conduction is mode of heat transfer in solids. Mode of heat transfer in solids from hot part to the cold part in an object. We can define conduction. Conduction is nothing but it is a mode of heat transfer in solids. It is a mode of heat transfer in solids where the heat is going to transfer from hot part to the cold part. We take this example. The heat is going to transfer from the hot part to the cold part. Heat transfer is nothing but it is going to travel from one point to the another point. Which point we don't know. But in case of conduction, the heat is going to transfer from the hot part to the cold part. Right? This way we will take the examples of desk which is kept in which is take the example of table. The light rays are coming in this direction or striking at this point. I am sitting at this point. What will happen? The heat is going to transfer from that point to this point. That means I am going to feel the hotness at this end. Right? This is clear. Conduction is nothing but the mode of heat transfer from cold pot, the hot pot to the cold pot. That is nothing but the heat is going to transfer, always going to transfer from the hotness to the coldness. In the same manner, when we keep the bench outside in the sunlight, some part of the bench is in presence of shadow. That means the heat is going to come from the outside to the inside. Here, the mode of heat transfer is nothing but the conduction. Now, how actually conduction happens? How actually conduction happens? I hope this is clear. How does conduction happen? The conduction is nothing but the mode of heat transfer. Now, how does the heat from one point to the other point move? When we take this point, this is hot part and this is cold part. And this is a metal strip. This is a metal strip. How the heat is going to transfer from this point to the cold part? How actually it is happening? Take the example of you. Here I am just taking the example, just explaining this example with the hotness and coldness. It will be easy. Now here in the whole class, I am taking the example of you bright students. You are one of the brightest students. I am going to take the example of bright students only. Now here is A end, here is a B end, right? Now here back benches are sitting. Here the back benches are sitting. Here are the front benches. Right? Hot are the back benches, cool are the front benches. Now what is the work of front benches? They just goes on writing everything. They just goes on studying. They will not talk. They will not. They need to any activity we should disturb the teacher. Right? These are the one of the sincere students, front benches. But what will be the work of back benches? They have the agenda so that they should disturb the teacher which is present in the class. Anyhow, they are going to disturb the teacher which is present, who is present in the class. It is the agenda of the back benches. Now, back benches, there will be students, and number of students 1, 2, 3 like this. They are going to be sitting like this. Right? Now, what will back benches do? They start talking. They slowly start talking with each other. They are going to go there. If this and extreme student starts talking with this fellow student, if he gives some rumors or if he talks something to this person is going to transfer his speech to this person. Yes or no? In the class you do know. Everyone does these things in the classrooms. The back benches starts talking, then the front benches is going to next bench, again it is going to come to the next bench, lastly to the front bench, lastly to the teachers. In the same manner, this person is going to transfer his information to the next person, this person to the next, this person to the next, this next to the last person. Where actually it started? From the back bencher. Where actually it ends? Front bencher. That means here all these class students are what are they doing now? They start talking. Only talking starts here, but these front benches are simply sitting silently. But now, after some time, all class starts shouting, talking, everything they are doing now. Why they are doing now? The information which is start from the back benchers is come to the front benches. They are discussing about all those things. That means all classes start talking. In the same manner, here there will be no students. What will be there? When we closely observe this chalk piece, when I break this chalk piece into pieces, we will get the small particles, small dust particles, small particles of the chalk piece. That means the whole chalk is made up of small items, small particles. The small particles together is holding this chalk. Together they are holding this chalk. That means here in case of a metallic strip, together all the particles which are present in this metallic strip, the atoms which are present in the metallic stick or metal plate are holding the metals together. That means here there will be particles, they are holding like this, take like this, continuously they are holding like this, continuously they are holding like this, from hot part to the cold part continuously, whatever be the length of that part, they are continuously holding each other. Like the class, how you are going to sit in the benches in the same manner they are holding each other. When I give heat here, what happens? They starts to shouting and talking and dancing. The particles which are present in those things starts dancing and shouting, everything they starts to do. What happens while they are doing? They are going to disturb their fellow atoms, the atoms which are present in their side. If I get those atoms get the heat energy is going to transfer to the next atoms. They start shouting and dancing. Actually they don't do it, just I am explaining. Next atom starts shouting and dancing. Again, the heat which is coming from the first atom is going to transfer for the second atom. If they start dancing and shouting, the atoms which are hold together with the second atom beside this side, which are called in nature, are getting disturbed. And the transfer of heat is going to get to those fellow atoms. In the same manner, they continuously get the heat energy from this point, again they are going to transfer the heat up to cold part, continuously dancing, continuously getting the heat energy from this point to this point. In this manner, the transfer of heat takes place in case of conduction. I hope this is clear how they are going to get the conduct the heat from one point to the another point. Right? Conduction is nothing but the transfer of heat in solids by the heat transfer heat in the solids by movement of the heat from hot part to the cold part is nothing but the conduction. And conduction is the mode of heat transfer in solid. The conduction is nothing but it is the mode of heat transfer in solids. It is mode of heat transfer in solids. Mode of heat transfer in solids. Mode of heat transfer in solids. Now next we are going to discuss about the conductors and insulators. What are the conductors and what are the insulators? Now take an example of frying pan. Take an example of water. We are going to take a beaker. A beaker. Right? And in beaker I am going to put water in. In the beaker I am going to put water. And I am going to give flame or heat energy to this beaker. I am going to take one by one some equipment or some elements. Some elements. Now first element will be spoon. Second will be metal fillings. Metal fillings are nothing but the iron fillings which are present or iron layers. Right? I am going to take rubber as eraser. I am going to take plastic. I am going to take just only these all things. Now what happens? I am continuously giving heat to this water. Water becomes warm or it becomes hot. When I put this spoon inside this water, if I remove this spoon after some time, how the spoon will be filled? The spoon will be how? It will be hot or cold? It will be hot. Spoon will be hot. That means the heat transfer is getting to the spoon by the water. And how do we know that conduction is nothing but the transfer of heat in the solid? The spoon becomes hot. Next, what I am going to put in this water? I am going to put metal fillings. When I put the metal fillings inside the water, what will happen? Metal fillings become hot or cold? They will become hot. When you remove it, when you check it, it will be hot. In the same manner, in this water, in this boiled water, I am going to put the rubber. Now, how the rubber is going to fill now? It will be hot or it will be cold? The rubber will be cold. The temperature of the rubber is not going to be changed. In the same manner, when we put the plastic, what will happen? It will become hot or cold. When we put the plastic inside this beaker, it is going to be cold or hot. It doesn't going to change its temperature. When we see all these four things, when we see all those four things, food, metal fillings, rubber and plastics, some are getting hot when you put in the hot water and some are not getting hot when you put in the hot water. That means here the conduction, by the conduction, you know that the transfer of heat from hot parts to the cold parts. That means here the transfer of heat is taking place. That means here the conduction is taking place. But in case of rubber and plastic, there is no conduction of heat is taking place. That means all solids are not going to conduct the heat. All solids, metals, all solid materials which are present is not going to conduct the heat. Some are going to conduct the heat and some are not going to conduct the heat. Now we have to categorize both those things. Now we have to categorize both those things into two different categories. Now what we have to do? We have to name it as one as conductors, another one as insulators. Right? Now this is clear. I have to make those lists. Make the category of those things. Right? Now those categories are nothing but the one category will be conductors, another category will be insulators. So conductors. What is conductor? Conductor is nothing but a solid which is going to transfer the heat. Right? It is a good conductor of heat. Right? Conductors are nothing but the, we can say that conductors is nothing but in conductors are nothing but in which heat is easily passed. Heat is going to easily pass through or heat is going to pass. Conductors are the solid materials in which heat is going to easily pass. It is easily passed. Through which conductors heat is going to easily pass. For example, metal, nothing but iron, aluminium, etc. From which the heat is going to pass. So what are the insulators? What are the insulators? Insulators are nothing but the poor conductors of heat. We can say that insulators are the poor conductors of heat. Poor conductors of heat, or the heat is not passed through these solids or substances. Solids or substances. That means that it is not going to pass through these substances. Insulators are those which resist the passing of the heat, whereas conductors are those which make the passing of the heat from hot part to the cold part. For example, here it will be rubber, plastic. Clear? I hope this is clear. List the number, list the few other conductors and list the few other insulators in your book, in your classwork book. You should do an activity of the conduction, what is conduction, and you should write down the what are conductors, what are the insulators, and list some conductors as well as insulators. In your Monday, we have to come to a conclusion that in case of vessels which we use for the making the food, why they are all made up of metals? Why are we using the metallic containers or metallic vessels for the making of the food? We should come to a conclusion. We should come with an answer in the next class, so that we should know why we always use the metallic containers. In this class, in the next class we are going to discuss further. Thank you.